to Chop Shop Mutters. My name is Clay, and like bring you along on another segment of the 30-day truck challenge. I shot this intro once before, but forgot to turn on the volume, the microphone, so it was good practice, and I'll do it again. The only difference is that when I did it the first time, I'd only been out here maybe 5 minutes and I hadn't started sweating yet. Now I've been out here like 10, and I'm sweating from being under the truck and doing stuff already to get ready for this video. So it's just the way it is in Arizona right now. Another month or so and we'll be through this heat and it'll be super nice here. So thanks for joining. What we're doing is we have challenged ourselves to take a bunch of leftover 53-6 Ford pickup parts, some decent, some not so decent, and throw them in a pile and see if we could build a truck out of it. The original project started out getting parts for a really nice, or at least a pretty nice 55 Ford pickup, and things snowballed in typical fashion, at least around this shop, and I end up with enough pieces that my eyes start to sparkle, and I decide I could probably build a second one. So that's what this journey is about, watching us throw these pieces together to build something that's kind of fun. We're trying to make a little bit of headway every day or every other day and still keep, still keep our jobs and whatnot. I'm lucky enough to have a job that I can work from home during this crazy COVID times, which is awesome. The hard part is that how do you keep your sanity? So, it's hard to go outside and not bake, but you do it because you got to get out of the house and you got to get away from the four walls. And so that's kind of what drove us to do the 30-day truck challenge. Shelby's helping out when she can, and putting all the videos together and doing stuff like that. So it's a joint effort. And today what we're going to do is we're going to spend a little bit of time and we're going to build some wheel cylinders and a master cylinder. So none of that stuff are really in great shape on any of the donors. We'll take a look after we clean up the wheel cylinders. The first one I did take apart, it was pretty hard. It was pretty tough to press it apart. So I mean, it's pretty crappy. We'll see what the second one's like. After I take the stone to it, if they don't clean up satisfactorily, then we'll just pass on building them, and I've got a couple more in the other shop that I can grab, but I just don't have them right now. So let's just see what we got. We'll build it if we can, and if we can't, then we'll go on to Plan B. This project probably should have been named Plan B. So that's the game plan. I've got a master cylinder core in there, I've got a couple wheel cylinder cores in there, and I've got a couple kits. We'll see how much stuff is right, how much stuff is wrong. Usually something's wrong. And if everything looks good, we'll build a couple wheel cylinders and a master cylinder, and I'll take you along. So let's go tear up some old rusty crap that nobody else wanted. Okay, first piece we're going to attack is going to be this master cylinder. So it looks like it's been replaced at some time in its life. It's got a plastic cap on it. I guess that's not a guarantee, but it feels like it's probably had something done to it. We will see if we can get inside it. First thing we're going to do is take off the brake switch. set it aside. Looks like it's got a little fluid in it, so that's not a horrible sign. Okay, so we pulled the brake switch off, a little 2-prong pressure switch. We'll want to use that. You can buy them, but the aftermarket ones are kind of crappy. We're going to pull this terminal block off just because I want to clean it all up and make sure that it doesn't have any gunk in it. That's this piece. Got a terminal block for the 3 lines, 1 for the rear and 2 for the front, 1 to each side, and then 1 goes to the rear. It's got a copper washer on each side. So we're going to keep all this stuff safe because we don't want to lose it. And we're going to see if we can get this off without breaking it. That was kind of a shocker. Oh, wow, that's gross inside. Okay, I'm going to take you inside and mess with some here. That's what it looks like. It's pretty gross. So, when you see that kind of stuff inside there, it really gets questionable whether or not you're going to be able to save it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can get it apart, and we'll find out just exactly what the cylinder looks like. There's a lot of rust, so my gut feeling is this could be a lot of junk. Just junk. Okay. It's not the rust that's in here that bugs me. It's what the cylinder looks like. So we're going to see if there's any chance of this thing living. My gut feeling is there's probably not a lot of chance. There just isn't very many areas that didn't seem to be impacted by moisture. Okay, it moved just a little bit, which is all I was hoping for. I don't want to drive it down into the cylinder any farther than I have to. Here comes Flip. Come on, buddy. It's too hot in here. You need to go back outside. Shot. Tortoise coming through. How badly this cylinder is seized up. So the inside of the piston has a taper to it, like this. And that's so that the actuating rod will kind of slide in there and find center. Huh. It's not a ton to see, but I'll let you kind of see the drama unfold. So basically I wound that bolt in there, a grade 8 bolt, into that piston. This piece is aluminum. And then once I started kind of turning it, then it broke free. But breaking free, probably not. Probably not a guarantee of success. The other thing is I'm not even sure. This cylinder looks awfully big. Piston. Yeah, it looks big. So there it is. You can see it was full of water in there. Uh-oh. Crap. Probably needed that piece. Yeah, full of water. That's the check valve that goes in the end. Okay. You wouldn't think you'd get much water in a cylinder in Arizona. Okay. We pulled off another cylinder off of the F100, so it's a little bit smaller. I'm not positive that it's gonna come apart though either. So we'll see if it already not having any luck. to see what I see. Well, that's not horrible. So at least you can kind of see the bottom. I mean, it's kind of gross for being dry, but not terrible, not like the other one. Okay, so this master cylinder, a Wagner, came apart just a little bit easier. It was still seized. I used the same technique. I got the clips off, ran a bolt in, tied the tapered portion, and it started to turn and it came out. It wasn't nearly as seized as the 2.5 F250 version was, 3/4 ton. So, we'll get the bolt out. Toss it back in the bolt bin. This piece is in parts. This master cylinder was not complete, and but between the two of them, I have enough pieces to make it all work. So I'm going to go and clean this up and get some of the rust off of it and do all that, and then I'll bring you back when it's time. Okay, let's put this master cylinder together. Here's the cylinder all ready to go. Cylinder bore is all nice. We've got a kit here. Pull out the pieces and do a quick comparison. Everything looks roughly the same, other than one's super grody and one's all nice and clean. We know we don't have a spring in here, so we'll use the spring that was in the original master cylinder. We've got a new clip, so we won't need that. We've got a new check valve, so that's still in the cleaner, so we won't need that. We use this spring. It's going to go kind of like that. This piece and this piece are important. This is basically the dampener at the end, so it goes in first. So what we'll do, put a little bit of brake fluid in the cap, and we will put a little bit on this, slide it down in the bore, like that. Get it seated down in there. The next piece is going to be this check valve, which keeps a certain amount of pressure on the end. We'll put that in, and the spring. So that'll go in next. So now we can put it in here, pointing up in the air. And we'll get this resituated so you can kind of see it. Alright. So the next piece is this cup, which goes in. This is the first seal. Just want to get a little bit of brake fluid down there so it was lubricated, so we get this brake fluid in the system. Keep it from any moisture from causing any damage. Okay, then we kind of sneak this guy in there. Slide that. I'm going to use this. Push it down in there. And then we put the main piston in. Now what's happening is you're getting just a little bit of pushback pressure, which is what you want to see. And you can actually hear it making some pressure noises, which are all good things. Then you cross your fingers. And you pull it out because you forgot one thing. Got the big fat washer. And you do that again. And try it. Okay, good things are happening. All good things. All right. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of fluid in here, just around those threads. And we are going to use the same fittings and washers that came off of the other truck right here. They all have these copper washers, so you want to make sure that they have them going back on. And we're going to tighten it up, but we know that we'll need to loosen that up once it's in the truck to align with the correct place on the where the lines go. Okay, so now tighten up the brake switch. I choke up on this wrench because this wrench has got a lot of leverage and that switch does not need that much torque. And there you have it. One finished master cylinder, ready to put in the truck. We're going to put a little bit of brake fluid down it, just because I want to have a little fluid in it, or in this case, a little fluid on it. Okay, now so that's on there. One thing that I will want to do is this little cap is good enough. This little cap is a little screwed up, so I'm going to JB weld this little piece on there and call it done. So thanks for following along as we did a little quick rebuild on a master cylinder. It took us a couple master cylinders to get to one we could use, but as you can see, pretty straightforward stuff, nothing too complex. We used some old parts that had been on a shelf forever and they finally got put to use. It's one less thing that I'll have to do when we try to get this truck up and running to take it for a drive. I'm Clay for Chop Shop Motors. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next project.